How are you today, Michael?
I'm very well, thank you. Very well, Anthony. And yourself?
I'm very good, thank you. It's good to see you. Good to
You
meet
too.
you.
You too.
Um, as part of promoting the book that we're in, Uncover 2021, doing a series of interviews, and today we're going to interview you. Do you like to give a quick overview about who you are, a bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. My name's Michael Hayes. I'm the owner of Hayes Financial Planning, which is a holistic financial planning firm in Reigate. And we look after clients all over London and the South East and further afield as needed. And as I mentioned, we're holistic financial planners, which means we cover a wide variety of needs for our clients, whether that be the mortgage and protection side where relevant, but more of our work is more focused on the wealth management and the planning side with investments, pensions, cash flow planning, inheritance tax planning, and various other specialities within there as well.
Wonderful. I've got three questions for you today. The first one is,
Brilliant.
could you please elaborate on the ways in which you provide assistance to your clients and the impact it has on your other pursuits?
Absolutely. So, as I mentioned, we're financial advisors, but a lot of what we do around that is not just the implementation of the advice, it's the education of clients and the coaching of clients around getting them where they want to be. And we do that through open and honest conversations, and that's important. Both me in terms of what their achievements can be, and then most importantly about what they actually want out of life and their financial planning.
Mhm.
And we do that, as I say, with open and honest conversations to get people where they need to be, both now and over the course of time.
And what's important to you about doing that role? What's most important?
Well, I think it's a very important role, probably now more than ever in a complex world that we are in.
Mhm.
The importance part of it is getting people to think ahead at a time that I think at any time in the world it's always been like this, but now more than ever, where it does feel difficult and sometimes people can't really see a way forward, is helping them get their eyes out of the floor and looking forward a little bit more and thinking forward in a positive way about what they can achieve. And it's a really hard thing to do for everyone. It doesn't matter what your background or your industry or your knowledge is, or even your wealth is, because wealth is very, very relative to each of
Mhm.
us. And I think that's the important thing. It's making sure people know that they can achieve what they want to achieve and helping them understand how they can get there. Sometimes they might need to make sacrifices or a change in plan to do that. Other times it might be a change in priorities, and that's fine. But adult educated decisions with anything, but particularly in financial planning in this world, I think is is something that we should be striving to achieve for our clients.
And how does it make you feel when you get someone to improve their financial planning and they get their financial plans more lined up and better and more
It, it,
secure?
it can be really rewarding. I think, like I've mentioned already, it is a confusing world out there, in all aspects. There's more information available than there ever has been in this world, which is
Mhm.
a brilliant, brilliant thing. However, it can also create confusion, and it can also mean that there's so much information you don't know where to start, so you don't do things. And utilizing that in the right way and helping clients navigate what is a difficult area, I think, is what every professional does in any walk of life. Um, I think deep down, there's always information that people can gather or might well have got from friends or family, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's right for them. And that's the same in financial advice. It could be the same as a personal trainer. It could be the same as a personal coach. Genericness is helpful. Personalization for me is where the real value comes from working with any profession.
Thank you. And for those seeking your services, where can they access information about your offerings?
Um, the standard ways, firstly, Anthony. So we do have a website, of course. Please go and visit it. There's lots of information on there about us. There's some testimonials on there from clients. There's some information and blogs and videos that are really, really helpful for people that want to gather generic information about financial advice, but also more about us and how we work. On top of that, you can go on to Google and look at our reviews. We do have a Google business page. We also utilize a company called Vouched For, which is for accountants, solicitors, and financial advisors. which allows clients to go on independently and rate us and how we do. And the output of that for us, where we've been on it for the last 5 years, has been that we've been nominated in the Times top advisor list for the last 4 years, which we're really, really proud of.
Excellent.
The last way, or last 2 ways, pick up the phone and we'll happily chat you through. And also something that clients often like is, maybe speak to a client of ours who's already dealt with us. And I think that's, always a nice thing to have, to speak to someone who's been through that process, whether it be someone they know or not. And we're always happy to make that available to people should they want to find out more about what it means working with me and my team.
Thank you, Michael. The last
Yeah.
question is, if financial considerations were not a factor, what
Mm.
pursuits or initiatives would you be particularly passionate about?
Twofold. First one would be allowing me more time to do football coaching, and in particular, me along with some other coaches manage two disabled football teams in Wallington, in Surrey, under a club called Corrigas, which we love. And under 12s and under 16s, it's no matter how bad my week has been, I always walk away with a smile on my face after spending time with those kids. And we coached them, of course, with football, but just hopefully in the wider ways of being a good person and a team player and looking out for one another. And that I'd love to spend more time doing that and growing that. The second one, a little bit more aspirational, I guess, but is homelessness and helping homeless people. I think it's poor, I guess, that we're still in a world where where that is still a big problem in the UK, let alone anywhere else around the world.
Mhm.
And I think helping people get off the streets, rebuild their lives, and give them more skills and education and helping them with interviews, all of those different things. And I know a lot of this happens already, but if I could ever get time and money to do that in the future with a blank sheet of paper, I think that could make such a big difference to so many people.
Wonderful. And why is those passions important to you?
I think the first one, the former, it's something that I've been in now for 5 years. I know the value of sport, something that's been a big part of my life growing up, even though my body personally can't hack it too much anymore. And I think it doesn't matter to a degree what your skill set is, but definitely doesn't matter what your background is. It doesn't matter. All of those things are irrelevant when you're in a game and you're with your teammates, or as an individual sport for that matter.
Mm.
And I've learned a lot over the years from sport, both individual sports and team sports. I've had some amazing coaches that have helped me, from a skill perspective, but also from a personal perspective. And I just think sport brings so many good things to society in general, and obviously the people that do it. The latter, nothing really underneath it, if I'm honest, Anthony. Just the fact that I mentioned earlier, it still amazes me that we're in a world where, in a country where there are still people living on the streets. At this time of year, it really, really becomes prominent,
Mhm.
with the cold and the rain and everything else going on. And I just wish more was done about it. And it's something that if I could ever help with that a little bit more in the future, for no particular reason, not been in that position. I don't know anyone particularly in that position. It's just something that I think, from a societal point of view, it just shouldn't be happening. It shouldn't be happening as well.
I understand. Many years ago, I used to be involved in the housing association movement, and I came across an organization that said that there are more empty properties than there are homeless people. Many of them are owned by governments, and they don't even know they've got them. So it's about supply and demand being matched up somehow.
Absolutely. And, I think now more than ever, there's many empty buildings across the country, office blocks, old army, remember what they're called, old army buildings, whatever it may be. There is lots and lots of broken and unused property out there. And, yet we've got a housing shortage and people on the streets, and it just doesn't. Two and two is not adding up on that one. So, but I agree. I think there is opportunity out there. It just needs someone with more power up the line somewhere to grab that nettle and do something about it.
Well, Mike, has been fantastic talking to you. Thank you for
You
your
too.
feedback, and we'll catch up soon. Thank you very
You
much.
will do.
Cheers.
No problem.
Bye bye.